Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a little dive into r/AmITheA. It's so hot today here. So I have my fan on. I do not tolerate the heat well. It's one of my medications apparently. It makes you like really not tolerate the heat. So I have a fan on and I'm really hoping you can't hear it, but if you can hear a little bit of a whirring sound in the background, that is what that is. But anyway, if judging some big old gaping boat holes sounds like your cup of tea today, then please do stick around and enjoy! And don't forget to like and subscribe, please, thank you! And of course, we have a little disclaimer. Any opinions that I give on the post are just that. They are opinions, not facts, do not need to be taken as such. If you have a differing opinion, do feel free to share them in the comments below. Just remember to keep it respectful. There is no need to be mean to anyone that you do not agree with. With that being said, let's get into it, shall we? So, first post was posted by Yo Jesus. Am I the butthole for not buying my 26M girlfriend 25F hot Cheetos just because she's on her period? Now, according to the little thingy right there, don't know what it's called, this one was judged the butthole, so that's interesting. I was gonna go pick up some stuff for dinner tonight at the grocery store. My girlfriend was initially going to come and get some stuff she wanted, but then she got lazy, and so I asked if she just wanted to stay home. She said yes, so I asked what she wanted, and she said a potato and some hot Cheetos, lime flavour. I was okay with the potato, but not the chips. Why? I said no, because it's not healthy for her. Then she said she's on her period and she wants them. And I told her, just because she's on her period, it's not an excuse to eat hot Cheetos. Mate, let her have some crisps. Let her have some crisps, for goodness sake. Like, she's a fully grown adult. If she wants to eat some Cheetos, let her eat some Cheetos. So, am I the butthole? Yeah, you are. Let her eat some bloody Cheetos. It doesn't matter. One, she's on a period. She just wants to eat some Cheetos. And I'll bet she eats pretty healthy any other time because, I mean, living with this butthole, like, I doubt she gets much choice. Like, just let her have some flipping Cheetos. It's not going to write her off. One bag. So, an update from the OP. So, I did not even write this post, LOL. My girlfriend did after I got her the Cheetos as a meme, as she is a fan of Smoosh reads Reddit stories. Man, the ironic thing is that most of the commenters are real a-holes. Lol, you guys sound like a bunch of neckbeards in an echo chamber. Man, even if I did not buy her the Cheetos, some of the stuff you guys have commented is so fucked. If I was actually someone looking to seek advice, you guys would actually make it worse. I think some introspection is needed here, and in actuality, you, the commenters, are the butthole. A few are chill and wanted to give advice. That is the biggest, fakest cope of an update I've ever seen. I do not believe for a second that the girlfriend posted this as a meme. He just got flamed in the comments and is now backtracking like you wouldn't believe because he doesn't want everybody to think he's a big old bumhole. But I mean, don't act like a big old bumhole then. He's the solution to that. So let's have a look at what those comments said then, shall we? So that reborn incognito says, why, yes you are. The person you are supposed to love is in discomfort. She didn't hire a diet coach. She wanted you to show you care about how she feels. You didn't. And then Silly Smile 8718 says, of course you're the asshole. The real question here is, why the F are you policing what your girlfriend eats? That shit is weird as fuck. You're too old to blame ignorance. Exactly. And I mean, a big old hint into the type of person that this OP is the fact that also he says when he asked if she wanted to go to the shop, he said she got lazy and didn't want to go. Or, my friend, she's uncomfortable, probably having nasty period pains, and doesn't really want to go like trotting around because she's in discomfort. So yeah, Way to just completely gloss over how your girlfriend's feeling and the things that, you know, would make her feel better. I hope he doesn't have the audacity to act surprised when she finishes with him eventually, because it'll happen. Just wait. So then next post, posted by Throwaway Will 4940. Am I the butthole for telling my daughter-in-law to stop crying after she got called fat? Oh, that's quite a title. You might be, but apparently the people of Am I the Butthole have said not the a-hole, so I will be interested to see why. So, they say they're on the phone, so I'm assuming that's just for format purposes. My daughter-in-law is a very sensitive soul, to put it lightly. She will end up in tears at basically any pushback or any slightly rude remark. It can be extremely frustrating because anything brought up will end up with her in tears and you looking like a huge butthole. One example, she has a habit of not taking her shoes off before going into people's homes. That's quite rude. I know over here it's very hit and miss whether people will mind you having shoes on or whether they want you to take them off. I always just offer to take them off because I know there's even some people, like one of my friends, she doesn't want people to take their shoes off because she hates feet. So she's like, nah, keep them things on. So do you know what I mean? Like, it is a bit hit and miss over here, but I think the rule of thumb is if it's not a rule that you're used to, but you know it's a typical norm, ask. Like, don't just assume and go traipsing your shoes into someone's house. Like, I don't like people to keep their shoes on in my house. It's fine downstairs because I have tiled floor everywhere, but I would still prefer they didn't, if that makes sense. But if it's like a workman or something, I'm like, keep them things on because I don't know what you've got inside those socks. Like, keep them on, please. About a year ago, she was tracking mud into my home and I told her to take off her shoes. She started crying because my tone was too much. I didn't yell or anything. My daughter was there and agreed I wasn't mean when I said to take off her shoes. It was a whole thing and my son gave me a whole lecture about how I can't say things like that. I told her to take off her shoes. That's ridiculous. Yeah, like crying because someone says, can you take your shoes off? Like, you have mud on your shoes. Could you take them off? Like, come on now, love. Get a grip. Get it together. It's all good. You're fine. She isn't a quiet crier either. It's loud and everyone notices the moment it happens. Then everyone needs to comfort her and you are the dick for making her cry. There are more examples of this and the whole family has to deal with it. The issue was this weekend get together for my other daughter-in-law's daughter's birthday. That was a mouthful. The birthday was going well and there were a lot of young kids. One of the kids, he is 4, almost 5, can be rude. His parents are working on it. I mean, that's just 4 and 5-year-olds full stop. They have their moments. They really do. And sometimes I don't even think it's that they're being rude. They literally will just say whatever pops into their head because they haven't learnt like the social norms at 4 or 5. And even if they are very aware, very, you know, nice, kind children, every now and then something just creeps out and it's like they say it before they even realise they've said it. So he doesn't have a filter. During the event, when she was helping passing out the food, he called her fat. The parents grabbed him and she started crying. It was getting loud, so I pulled her off to the side and told her to stop crying. I didn't want her to cause a scene at a 7-year-old's birthday. It was a little kid's remark and told her not to come out of the room unless she is composed. She ended up going to the car and didn't come back to the party. My son and I got into an argument. My point is, she is a grown adult and she is crying over a 4-year-old saying something mean. He is telling me to apologise, but at this point, I'm not. I can understand being really upset by someone calling you fat. Like, yeah, of course I can. Even if it is coming from a kid, because in my head, because they don't just say things to be spiteful. Well, most don't anyway. They say things just because they are saying exactly what they are viewing right now. You know, I'd be like, oh my God, this this kid has just called me right out, and how embarrassing. And yeah, I can understand why that might upset someone. No one wants to be called fat by a 4 or 5-year-old, you know? In front of other people as well, like very embarrassing, whatever. However, she's at a 7-year-old's birthday party. It's not the 7-year-old that has done it. So why are you causing a massive scene and ruining this child's party? I understand being upset. I completely get that. It's very hard, especially if you've got insecurities about your weight or whatever. I get that. But my God, go take yourself somewhere to get yourself composed so you're not causing a massive big ruckus and ruining this poor kid's party who had nothing to do with this whole thing. You were an adult at the end of the day. You know, an adult should be able to sit there and not scream, cry every time they have something that they perceive as a teeny weeny bit rude. And before even anyone even mentions it, I know rejection sensitive dysphoria is a thing. I completely get that. 100%, believe me. But again, when you are an adult, you have to learn to compose yourself in certain situations. And it seems like, because the OP has said, she ends up in tears basically at any pushback or any slightly rude remark. So, any pushback. Is she maybe the sort of person that is screaming, crying, kicking off when she's not getting her own way? You know? Is this a bit of an attention-seeking thing? Is this a bit of a manipulation thing? I don't know. Could be. I'm on the fence on that one. Because like I say, I get why being called fat would really upset you. I do understand that. But yeah, making a huge scene and crying like a screaming toddler, that's just, no. Like, that's crazy. A child's birthday party, that is crazy. Anyway, let's have a look at what the comments say, shall we? So, LDIJ46 says, I disagree a bit with some of the other responses you received. She was crying at a child's birthday party. She was crying loudly at a child's birthday party. She should not have had to be told to remove herself from the room. She should have realised that herself. She should not have wanted to spoil the child's party. It was too bad that you had to tell her to stay out of the room until she composed herself. But I think it was absolutely necessary. Therefore, not the butthole in my humble opinion. Also, can we talk about the way that the OP's son clearly enables his wife's girlfriend's behaviour? Because every time someone even says something as simple as, oh, could you take off your shoes because they're muddy? She's screaming, crying, and he's having a go at the OP. As if to say, like, you can't talk to her like that. Like, I'm sorry, but if she is that overly sensitive that she cannot handle someone just telling her to take off her shoes, screaming, crying, because again, OP said she's very loud when she's crying, so it's not even just like an upset cry. It's like a look at me kind of cry, I imagine. You should go and get some therapy. Like, that is not healthy, even for her herself. It's not healthy for her to be that upset and that distressed by such small things. And if that's the case, rather than the son sticking up for her and saying you can't talk to her like that, maybe he needs to turn around to her and say, look, love, you need some help. We need to get you some help because you're clearly suffering and this is not good. This is not going to be good for your mental health. This is not good for your physical health, like getting that irate and upset all the time. Like, we need to get you some help. Not blame everybody else, because if someone asked me to take off my shoes, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. And kick them off. Happy days. So then Rightier Than You says, agreed. This comes across as attention seeking rather than sensitive. And then Perturbed Hamster says, I don't know if it's attention seeking as much as manipulation. It puts criticizing her or her behavior permanently off limits. I'm guessing this includes whenever she doesn't get her way, though I don't see if OP has commented on that. I mean, I feel like we got a bit of a hint when it says, oh, when she gets any pushback. So that's kind of like if anyone's like, kind of like, no, we're not going to do things your way, or we disagree with what you're saying. So yeah, I would agree with that commenter there. That's just the way I'm reading it though. So then Cull says, everyone in here saying you can't tell someone not to be upset is missing the point. Things can be upsetting and people are allowed to be upset. She doesn't just get upset though, loudly cries and makes a scene. She is a full-blown adult. It's either a cry for attention, she needs therapy, or both. Adults don't fall to pieces over every little thing that makes them unhappy. Not the butthole. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's saying that she's not allowed to be upset that someone called her fat. No one is insinuating that. It's the fact that she is literally having a complete breakdown. If that is not something she's doing for attention, and it's not something she's doing for manipulation purposes, then she severely needs to get some help, because that is not good for her, and it must be awful to be in that headspace all the time, you know? So next post, posted by personalbit4399. Am I the butthole? I told my daughter she needs to get over her jealousy and it is her own fault her life is the way it is. This has been an ongoing issue and I need some outside opinions with my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter is working as a waitress ever since she dropped out of college. She wasn't going to classes and her GPA plummeted. The university kicked her out. Due to this, she doesn't have much money to do anything. My other daughter is graduating and just got a job offer to a good company. I will call the oldest Madison and the younger Becky. Fake names, of course, standard. Becky is going to make good money starting her job and doesn't have any loans. She got a full ride to her college. Madison is in debt and struggling, and this is where the issues stem from. She believes that she should be doing better than Becky since she is older. I have tried over and over to help her, but she has turned bitter about anything that Becky achieves. Becky told us that she plans on going to Iceland in the fall. It was a quick conversation, but in the car ride home, Madison went off. She was pissed that she gets to do all this cool stuff and that it wasn't fair. She started to insult Becky, and that is when I had had enough. I told her that she needs to get over their jealousy and the reason her life is the way it is her own fault. We got into an argument and she is pissed. My wife thinks I went too far, but I think she needed to hear it. Yeah, no, I don't think the OP's overstepped here. He's not said anything that is not true. He's literally said to her, look, love, you dropped out of college, you weren't keeping up with your classes, you weren't showing up, so you were booted, which is essentially like dropping out, because what do you expect if you let your grades fall so low and your attendance fall so low? Like, you know you're gonna get kicked out. So yeah, I mean, her having a big thing against Becky and acting like it's not fair that Becky's got what she's got. Becky's got it on her own merit. She's not like mooching off the parents, you know, it's nothing like that. So she just needs to look inwards and realise if she wants to get somewhere and she wants things to change, she's got to be the one to change it, rather than looking at Becky with a load of disdain like it's Becky's fault. Becky ain't done anything, love. So, down in the comments, LiveButterfly161 says, went too far. Telling her the truth? Your wife needs to stop coddling a grown-ass woman. Not the butthole, but check on the both of them. And then Rush is Right says, your wife needs to stop coddling a grown-ass woman. This is probably why Madison is the way she is. I mean, yeah, probably. If mum has a habit of jumping into her defense every time she does something wrong, yeah. Doing that with people does breed a sort of environment for them to turn very entitled, because they quickly start to believe that nothing is wrong with them and everything is wrong with everybody else. Okay then, last post for the day. Many Worries 2671 says, am I the butthole for not removing my doormat because it scares my neighbour's kid? My wife and I, both 32, have been living at our apartment for 4 years and are both huge horror fans. We have had an Art the Clown doormat from Spirit Halloween for 2 years now. It's not a Halloween decoration, it's just what we like. Last month, around the beginning of April, we had some neighbours move in across from us. They have 2 kids, one is a baby and one is maybe 3-4 years old. The first time we met them was a couple days after they moved in. We were all bringing in groceries and I introduced myself, shook hands, all of that. The dad says, "Still Halloween, huh?" And I laughed it off. Since then, we've come home 4 times to them flipping our doormat, and we know it's them because we have a Ring camera. We were fine letting them do it and just flipping it back until a couple days ago when we caught them doing it in person. We asked what the issue was, and apparently their son is super afraid of it, even though the kid was right there and was acting completely fine. Not crying, not anything. The only one that seemed agitated at all was the mum, who swore at us and rolled her eyes and was just generally unpleasant. Haven't interacted with her much before or since. My wife waited until they were inside and flipped it back over. I stayed out with the dad and talked it over and he seemed fine. He said he understood it was our space and he'd talk it over with his wife and that his son was old enough to understand it couldn't hurt him. This morning, we walked out and saw that our doormat wasn't even flipped over. It was thrown outside of the stairwell. We live on the 4th floor, so it was a very deliberate thing. My wife wants to report it to management, but I'm just about tired enough of this. I kind of want to throw it away, but I also want to keep it. I don't know, I'm just confused, y'all. If you throw that friggin' mat away, I'm gonna be fuming with you, OP. Do not give in. Like, my goodness, this husband sounds like his wife is just beating him down because he's like, "I'll talk to her about it." I don't believe for a second the husband's bothered by it. I don't believe for a second the kid's bothered by it. The way that the wife is swearing at the OP and their wife and like rolling their eyes and having a big fucking attitude over a mat is crazy work. And then throwing it down the stairwell. Yeah, no, I'd report it to management because it's just a mat for now, yes. And I mean, if it was me and a neighbour knocked on my door and I had a mat like that and, you know, I lived in an apartment, so it's close quarters then, isn't it? You kind of can't help but see your neighbour's doormat. And they said, "Look, my kid's really scared of it. Would you mind removing the doormat or just, you know, I don't know, getting a different doormat and keeping that one inside?" Like, they're really, really scared of it and I'm sorry, I don't want to be a pain in the butt, but I wanted to just come talk to you about it. I'd be like, "Yeah, do you know what? I'll bring this one inside. I'll put a different mat outside." But yeah, just like flipping it over passive aggressively and then chucking it down the stairs, it's going to get to the point where you won't be able to have anything on your front door because she'll be vandalizing it. I feel it just feels like one of those things that will escalate to me personally. Maybe I've seen too many friggin' Karens in the Wild videos. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like this is a slippery little slope. So let's see what the commenters think to it, shall we? So, Throwaway 211700 says, "Report it so there's a trail of them destroying your property. They will continue to escalate." Precisely. And then Any Inevitable 1890 says, "I think it's a motiver she will continue to escalate, as I don't think the guy has anything to do with it, given their different reactions." Exactly. I don't think the bloke has out to do with it either. I think it's her. And I don't even think the kid cares, honestly. I think she's probably just one of those that has to pick a problem with something. I'm getting them vibes. What do you think? Okay then, so I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Covenant Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Don't forget to leave an offering of a comment for Big Al now, will you? Bye!